was impressed. I mean, look, I had the score 30-10. I said the Giants would score 10.
It was pretty good.
They got 12. The 49ers got that 30. Offensively, first half, Brock Purdy and company, they were struggling. Not necessarily struggling, but you could tell that they had their toe in the water trying to understand what the Giants was doing on defense. Then they got hot in the second quarter thereon, and they took care of business. Defensive side of the ball, which is the strength of the 49ers, despite having Kittle and Ayuk didn't play, and Deebo Samuel, Chris McCaffrey, the strength is the defense. Steve Wilkes comes over as a new defensive coordinator. They allowed the Giants 150 yards all night long. Okay? All night long. Daniel Jones, I know you'll say Saquon Barkley wasn't there. It doesn't matter. They still put their foot on their throat. Okay? And they had a short field all night long, the Giants did. But the 49ers defense didn't break. So I am extremely impressed with what they were able to do in that operation, for sure. This is they're still right, as far as I'm concerned, they're right underneath Kansas City. They're right above the Dallas Cowboys as a complete team. Now, you say, well, how could that be? They played the Giants and we beat them 40-0 and all those sort of things. Doesn't matter. They just look like a complete football team where we're still questioning what Dallas's offense truly is because we haven't seen it and they haven't had to use it. For whatever reason, the 49ers have used their offense to maximum gear. Now, here, what I would say about Brock Purdy. He had an opportunity to get a ball away a couple times last night. Adoree Jackson batted one down on a deep crosser from Kittle, and he fell off and saw it. He didn't see Adoree Jackson sitting in the flat. Mistake. He also threw one on his back foot just trying to get rid of the ball. The receiver batted it down in the end zone. Should have been an interception. There was a couple of those, but every quarterback has a couple. Okay, remember what I said about Brock Purdy? I got to wait and see. When you guys are like, well, he's 7-1, King, 7-1. Well, the wait and see based on last night is starting to chip away. Yeah. He's starting to give me. I'm starting to see it. He's operating the offense the way that Kyle Shanahan and company wants him to. So I don't know what happened with Trey Lance or whatever the case is. He clearly is doing what they need him to do. That's why he's a starter. That's why he's 3-0 this season.
So they clearly made the right choice.
Oh, I think they made the right choice.
This dude on the football field, they clearly made the right choice. Now,
and that McCaffrey, and that Deebo.
It was worrisome for me in this sense. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I love the 49ers. Deebo is a very good friend of mine. I think the world of Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, and they've done an incredible job. I don't remember any time, Skip, and you're a historian of the game, where someone spent that kind of draft capital on somebody that didn't pan out that still had their job. You know what I'm saying? But these dudes do such a great job in San Francisco, you didn't even feel that. They've still been right there. They've still been right there every year. And what we've been talking about is when the Cowboys will catch them, because the Cowboys lost to them the last few years. Let me tell you what I saw. I saw Trayvon Diggs go down on one side. I saw the 49ers come back to the 49ers on the other side. Brandon Ayuk has been playing great this year. And he's out. And I don't know how they just keep finding people. That Ronnie Bell showed up last night.
He did.
You know what I mean? Just showed up and started making plays. They got a whole system. They bring guys in, and they just start making plays. Coach Shanahan knows how to put them in position to make plays. They find people. But the mentality, they got back to their mentality. I always tell people, why is mentality so important? Because the mentality is a man's reality, is how he thinks of himself. And right now, when the 49ers are thinking through Deebo Samuel, it's a physical football team. And that's the one thing I'm scared of for the Dallas Cowboys. 2 years ago, when they played San Francisco, I said, we wasn't ready. We wasn't ready. I knew we weren't ready. We were not ready for that 2 years ago. I had Michael Parsons on. He talked about it on my podcast. He talked about it. He said he was sore for 2 weeks. I said, why would a man tell another man he was sore for 2 weeks? That's how physical the San Francisco 49ers were on that football team. Yep. I was impressed because they got back to that last night. You didn't see it that physical in the first 2 games. No. They got back to it. And that guy right there, I love singing that song, Deebo. Whoa, whoa. When he starts going, this team goes. That's what I was impressed with, and that's what I was also worried about. That dude right there.
All right, Mr. Johnson, back to the quarterback you spoke of in the first and second quarter footballs that he put up for grabs. I want to go a little deeper on that because Brock Purdy has an angel on his shoulder pads right now that's still sitting there and smiling on him. And sometimes, at some point soon, that angel's going to fly away and say, "You're on your own, young man." Seriously, because he's getting away with things other people don't get away with consistently in this league, because this league will get you. And his QBRs for these games keep coming down a little bit more. Last night it was a 58, just a little above average, 0 to 100. So Dory, a USC guy, he needs to just catch the football, because if he does, it changes the whole tenor of the game. All of a sudden, they got the ball going the other way, and they're starting to feel a little better about, oh, here we go. But he does not come down with the football.
Yeah, look, Brock Purdy certainly at times last night had Kyle Shanahan biting his fingernails. There's no question about it. But back to what you were saying, Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, most people that put themselves in that situation would probably be on the hot seat because of the capital. Right, sure. But what you got to think about, though, Michael, is think about the quarterback room. And what I mean by that is there's not a lot of capital spent in the quarterback room right now. That goes to Brock Purdy, right? Those three picks, that's how you look at it. You look at it and you say, hey, we hit on a guy, Mr. Irrelevant, even though we gave up all these other picks for a guy that can't play for us, we'll slide him into that slot and we'll convince the ownership group, okay, we reached on this one, but this one is better. Moving right into there, that money that we were going to have to pay Trey Lance, we getting ready to get a Brock Purdy, and we're rolling. And that's how they look at it. By the way,
I think they're still $49 million under the cap because he makes 0.4% of the cap.
Absolutely.
Because he's a
so it all works out for the quarterback room.
He makes the least amount of money in the quarterback room in San Francisco. He's a starting quarterback.
Back to Debo.
Now, but wait, you guys are showing that throw on the corner of the end zone. That throw, he did get pressure on him.
Just give him a chance.
He got pressure.
But you see a flash of Jersey, and you know it's Debo, and you say, I believe if I throw this up, he's just going to go get it.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay.
And your problem is you don't have Diggs. So that's the problem.
Thank you.
That's the problem. But you may put Gilmore over there, and you may put Gilmore in that situation.
Ayuk is going to catch 14 balls.
Well, you got to double up the other side.
That's the one. That's the one. If we don't have Diggs, man, that's the scary.
I don't love talking about this, but I'm going to bring it up. And you can say I'm just a Cowboy diehard when I bring it up, but I honor how hard Debo and Christian McCaffrey run with the football, either after catch or just run it off reverses or whatever. I don't know that I see anybody run it as hard as both of them run, but they take incredible punishment.
The last time I saw a receiver run like Debo probably was Anquan Bolden.
Okay,
he was that type of muscular, shorter, aggressive ex-running back quarterback.
Hey, that one playoff run, Flacco would just throw it up in the air, and Anquan would just go snatch it.
Yeah.
And yet, I don't know that even Anquan ran after catch with the physicality that this kid did, because I've never seen it before.
Nobody does. You know, I'm going to tell you something. When I was doing the draft, I'm going to tell you a good little dude does that runs so hard like that as LaVista Chenault. You know, boy, that joker can run like now. He can run hard, but he doesn't have all of the talents.
Yeah, he's a Colorado guy
Right. That boy, I saw him and dropped. Okay.
But my point is, even Debo said in his stand-up interview last night on Amazon Prime, how healthy are you? I'm as healthy as I can be right now, and they chuckle about it. Man, he stayed down a couple times because he is getting rocked. Now, he's rocking them too. But, hey, how long can you sustain that? And I'm not knocking on wood for
I think he can sustain it throughout the course of the season.
Christian got worn down at Stanford a couple of times where he just took too much between the tackles punishment, because he will run his tail off.
It's not even taking the punishment. It's about getting hit in the wrong spot. When Debo laid on the ground last night, it's because the defender rolled on him with his knee, and the knee hit him right into the rib cage. That force, that weight coming down on you. But that's not going to happen every single game. So I know you're knocking on wood and everything, Skip, but I also know the hope and the prayer is you hope it wears down so that the Cowboys can slide in there. Well, I get it, though.
Listen, when Debo was going through, and I hope he doesn't mind me sharing, going through his contract stuff last year, we would talk all the time. We would talk all the time. And Debo would call me and say, we were talking. I said, well, what's the issue? And he was talking about how much he ran the football from the running back position.
Yeah.
And he said, man, I put in a lot of work. And he said, man, Mondays come around after I played both positions, and I still got full practices. And he said, I'm hurting. I'm banged up pretty good. And coaching, they put me through the full practices. He said, so we got to work through those things because I'm putting so much on the football field. And I said, okay, yeah, you work through those things. But stop telling people you don't want to run the ball till after you get your money. You know what I mean? That's what I was telling him. Don't say that you don't want until after you get your money. Of course, he got all his money. And Debo's the kind of guy that no matter what, he'll say all of this stuff. When the game's on the line, just look at him. He's going to get that football and get running. You know what I mean? He's that kind of guy, man. But yeah, he talked about that, taking that punishment and trying to get some rest on Monday if Coach would.
So he needs the Travis Hunter, Deion, Colorado plan.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm telling you. And Coach Shanahan is called a little bit like Jimmy. That was Sunday. We going to practice on Monday. Let's go. And he was like, I just got to talk to Coach about it.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.